you saw the hoopla that was going with the Rock and Roll Connection and this Wrestlemania one thing, and I knew about the pay-per-views and stuff like that because we had done something like that in Starrcade a couple of years before that in Crockett and Greensboro. So you knew you were on to some virgin territory for wrestling, and boxing was just coming out with their pay-per-views. So you had a feeling you were on to something really big.
The atmosphere back in the locker room that night, was you remember Vince's demeanor specifically? Was he nervous? Was he excited? Did you guys get like a pre-WrestleMania prep talk or?
No. In that way, it was just like any other night, you know. I mean, we had our finishes, we knew what to do. You would think, you know, I can't really remember, but it's a long time ago, but you would think they would have a lot of talks with us about the importance of, you know, this deal that was happening, but you just kind of like had to watch and see.
I think Matt Bourne, who worked under a hood that night with, wasn't Matt Bourne the Execution?
Yeah, Execution.
Oh, no, he didn't work under that. Was Buddy Rose, right. But no, he worked with, who did Matt Bourne work with? Right. I think he said that Vince kind of came around to everyone shaking hands, looking in their eyes very, very closely.
Oh,
going,
he might have been.
Going, how you guys doing tonight? Are you ready for tonight? Kind of checking the color of the eyes.
Right. Seeing if you were bombed or drunk or high or.
Does that ring a bell? That might have happened.
Well, that could. He didn't look at me. But
I was going to say maybe you wouldn't be one of the guys.
I was a real pro
though. The post-show party at Rockefeller Center. Do you remember a big post-show?
I wasn't invited.
You weren't invited. Wow. Speaking of not being invited,
I just grabbed my belt and went to Ramada Inn.
8th and 8th and 51st. Over there. Speaking of not being invited, you had long-time WWE stars like Putski, Morocco, Ken Patera, with no place on the card at WrestleMania. Were there hard feelings with any of these guys?
Well, Morocco was in the territory, right?
He was there.
Yeah, and he wasn't on the card.
Right.
You know, I imagine, you know, I mean, I was Intercontinental Champ, so I knew I had my slot there. I know Tito wanted to wrestle me because we had just done the leg breaking angle, but George Scott was the booker back then, and he didn't want to blow it off at WrestleMania. He wanted it to go on and continue to go on afterwards. So I thought it was smart where he just came in and kind of stews me off for using the feet to beat JYD. So you really, for a wrestler, he's got to look at the whole picture. And damn it, I'm not on WrestleMania 1, but I mean, you can look at the picture and say, well, I'm going to be, you know, I'm sure that you would feel bad if you weren't, because it was a big deal.
You did work JYD that night.
Yeah.
Was he as tough in the ring to work with as we hear?
He was kind of like pulling teeth too.
Yeah.
But he was such a nice guy, and I had the secret, and not the secret that they're selling in the books and the movies, but I had a secret where I knew how to work with everybody. I could work around those flaws, you know. I made them come to my style, so to speak. Because I never did anything high risk anyway. I was just get them in, and you know, and get them to sell and get them to where I thought it was good. And it wasn't one of my greatest matches, but he had a great comeback, and I go, let's go home, you know, because he was hard to work.